Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're diving into early 20th century Europe. We're looking at the sources you sent over, really trying to get under the skin of how World War I actually started.
Yeah, absolutely.
Our goal isn't just, listing events. We want to figure out those core things, the dynamics that made this huge conflict almost.
Yeah.
Well, unavoidable, it seems.
It really does seem that way looking back. It wasn't just bad luck. There are some deep, deep issues, and your sources definitely show a continent just teetering on the edge.
Okay, so let's kick things off with that fundamental split. Europe was basically divided, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Two big camps. The Triple Alliance, it's Germany, Austria-Hungary, Italy, and the Triple Entente, France, Russia, Great Britain. It feels like everyone was already, picking teams, ready for something.
They were, and the critical thing about these alliances, they weren't just friendly agreements. They created this chain reaction waiting to happen, binding obligations.
Obligation. How so?
Well, think about it. Germany, relatively new as a unified power, wanted to cement its place. France, still smarting from losing territory earlier. Russia had its own ambitions. These deals meant if one member got into a serious scrap.
Their friends had to jump in too.
Exactly. A local fight could suddenly become a massive brawl.
Okay, and layered on top of this, you've got this incredibly powerful force, nationalism.
Yeah.
Just sweeping across Europe.
Oh, massively.
And it wasn't just patriotism, right? It was groups wanting their own nations, sometimes inside these big empires. The Balkans, that seems like ground zero for this.
Absolutely the flashpoint. You had the Austro-Hungarian Empire, this patchwork of peoples, including many Slavic groups who desperately wanted independence.
And Serbia was involved.
Serbia was key. They saw themselves as the potential leader of a unified South Slavic state, a Yugoslavia, and they had a big brother, Russia, also Slavic, kind of looking out for them.
So that put them directly against Austria-Hungary.
Directly. Austria-Hungary saw Serbian nationalism as a mortal threat to its own empire. You had national dreams crashing right into imperial reality, a really explosive mix.
Which brings us, unfortunately, to Sarajevo, June 28th, 1914.
The spark.
Archduke Franz Ferdinand, the heir to the Austro-Hungarian throne, and his wife Sophie assassinated. The killer, Gavrilo Princip, a Bosnian Serb nationalist, connected to that group, the Black Hand.
Yeah.
This is always cited as the trigger.
Yeah.
But was it just this one event, or was the groundwork already laid?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? The assassination was absolutely the immediate trigger, no doubt, but it landed in a powder keg.
Okay.
All those tensions we just talked about, the rigid alliances, the intense nationalism, they created this incredibly volatile situation.
Right.
The assassination was just the match.
So Austria-Hungary felt it had to respond forcefully to crush Serbian nationalism once and for all, maybe.
Precisely. They issued this ultimatum to Serbia, really harsh terms.
And Serbia couldn't accept all of them.
They accepted most, actually, but not quite enough for Austria-Hungary's liking, or perhaps Austria-Hungary wanted to be rejected. They declared war on Serbia on July 28th.
And then just takes off, doesn't it? Like a runaway train.
It really does. Russia felt it had to protect Serbia, its Slavic ally, so it starts mobilizing its huge army.
Which Germany saw as a threat.
A direct threat. Germany demands Russia stop. Russia doesn't. So Germany declares war on Russia. Then, knowing France is Russia's ally, Germany doesn't wait, declares war on France too.
Wow, just like that. And their plan involved going through Belgium.
Yes, the Schlieffen Plan. To knock out France quickly, they planned to march through neutral Belgium. That was a crucial step.
Because violating Belgium's neutrality is what finally brought the British in.
Exactly. Britain had guaranteed Belgian neutrality, Germany invaded, and Britain declared war on Germany.
So within basically a few days, early August 1914, boom, all the major European powers are at war.
All locked in, and nobody, truly nobody, expected what was coming. Over 4 years of industrialized slaughter, millions dead. It was unimaginable beforehand.
So wrapping up this deep dive then,
Yeah.
the key factors seem to be those really rigid alliance systems, turning a local crisis global.
Yep.
Then there's that potent, destabilizing force of nationalism, especially heating things up in the Balkans.
Absolutely central.
And finally, that assassination in Sarajevo, the spark that ignited the whole thing because all these other tensions were just sitting there waiting.
That sums it up perfectly. It really makes you think, doesn't it? How something seemingly contained, like a regional dispute or one violent act, can spiral completely out of control on a global scale.
Yeah.
Especially when the whole system is already strained by rivalries and these ironclad commitments. It just shows how interconnected everything was, and maybe still is. Makes you wonder what small spark today could land on similar ground.